Hello and welcome to another MsAccess training video. In this short video I'm going to demonstrate how to create a Google type search input box. And we have a form created, and on the form we have two objects, the search input box and the search results list. And I'm going to show the underlying table and query that I'm going to use. So if you look at the underlying table, you can see just a list of terms, and I'm going to enter into the search box some of these terms which will be found. So let's start with a B, and you can see we're shortlisted from this list to all the terms beginning with B. If we continue to type in, you can see the list gets shorter, and if we backspace we can type different terms, and as we type the term the list gets shorter. Once again, as we backspace we get 0 records. The way I did this, first of all, was I created a query which gave me the results I wanted for a specific term, and I used that query to build the SQL in VBA. So let's have a quick look at the query. So if we look at SQL view, you can see it's a simple enough query. It's select last name from table 1, where last name is like, and I have a constant term in here, and I have the delimiter character, the asterisk there in inverted commas. So I got to now convert this string into code, and we'll look at what this looked like in the code. So let's look at the code window. So there's two parts to the code, and three parts really. First of all, I created a function called MySearch, which has no input parameters, and it doesn't return any results. It populates the list. So you can see how it works there. We've got a text string called MySQL, and the reason I did this was it enabled me to debug it easily. So before I applied it to the list, I can debug it to make sure it looks pretty much identical to the string that we saw up here in the query. So, and we can see how that works. So it's broken down into a couple of parts, and I like to use the ASCII codes for the delimiter values that I want to embed in the string, so I don't get confused between what the string contains and the characters used to delimit. So we can see there character 42 is the asterisk and 34 is the quotation marks. So I have a debug line here, and I'm just going to run this code and show you what it generates from the output. When I run and I type in a character, so we type in A there, and we come back and we look what the debug prints out. You can see we've typed in A. So this string value generates this string content. If I copy that and pasted it into our query window, it would work directly. And this is a good test for embedded SQL in VBA to make sure that there's no errors in your code. So if I look at that and I say datasheet view, you can see the characters that it returns. Or that's the code for generating the SQL, and then we just apply that SQL, we apply that result set to the row source property of the list box. And finally, once we've applied that, we requery the results to make sure that the up-to-date ones are in there. And I've enabled two events for the form, and the first one up on the top there is the open, and it's essentially assigning no records to the list box to start off with. So that guarantees that the list box is empty when we open the form first time. If we go into the change property of the text box, this is the one that allows us to add subsequent characters in and continue to requery the list after we've added in additional characters. And the first thing I've got to do here is, if the search string is of 0 length, then I need to make sure that there's no results returned. I should simplify that by doing that, and that will do the same job. If the search box is empty, in other words, if I've backspaced so that I've removed all the characters, I need to empty the string. I want to empty the string. And if there is a character in, or a series of characters in, then I want to call my search. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found this useful, and if you did, by all means feel free to comment And if you have an alternative or a better way of doing this, once again, feel free to comment. And thank you for watching.